Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Learn English Language Skills. Story writing, an art. Yes, it is an art because it requires a lot of imagination, a lot of thought power, a lot of creativity. So in this video, I will explain the format, the paragraphing, all in detail, along with a sample, along with the marking scheme if it comes in your question paper, and many more things. So stay with me and let's learn together. Story, epics, fiction, wonderland, adventure, fairyland, mystery, and different genres, comedy, tragedy. All these words come flashing by when we hear the word story. Story is an art of giving your imagination words and expressions. It is written in simple, grammatically correct language, whether it is English, Hindi, French, German, whichever, but write in simple, grammatically correct language. Now let's learn the format of story writing. So first, you should have a title. Have you ever seen a movie without a name that you go and tell your friend, oh, I'd gone to see a movie. That movie was wonderful. Your friend is asking, what is the name of the movie? Oh, that movie had no name. No, never. So what is a movie? Movie is a story, isn't it? Similarly, your story should also have a name. We call it title. All right. Now your story should consist of multiple paragraphs. Do not write your story in just one paragraph, please. When do we change a paragraph? When we are introducing another scene or character or setting. When your thought process changes, you need to change your paragraph. Next is setting of the story. Setting means where is the story happening? Is it happening in a palace, forest, mountain, anywhere? That is called setting of the story. Next, characters. Have few characters. Don't have too many characters because you will face a problem in defining those characters. Okay? Plot of the story. Now this is the main portion where your story is happening. The details of the story is happening. And in this particular portion you have a conflict. Conflict could be between characters. Your characters are fighting, arguing. There will be a climax, the tension is building up, and you can't find a solution and things like that. Okay, now conflict could be internal, that is between your characters, or external, meaning the vagaries of weather also is a conflict. It creates a tension that there was a storm in the sea and these sailors were braving the storm. That is a conflict. It creates a tension in the story. So it could be an external tension, conflict as well. Now once that tension is built up and conflict and you take your story to the climax, start finding a solution and move towards the end of your story. Okay. Now when you have multiple paragraphs, you need to leave a line. Why should you leave a line? It gives a visual appeal is more. The presentation is better if you leave a line and then write the second paragraph. Also, now if you're in a lower grade, say third or fourth, your word limit will be not that much. So maybe you can just write a 3-paragraph story. But as you climb the ladder, that means you go in 9th, 10th, 12th, whatever, your word limit will increase. So you check the word limit and then write your story. Okay, fine. Now I am giving you opening lines because we stumble how to start the story. Okay, so there are many other imaginative ways of starting a story depending on what question is being asked in your question paper. Here I've just given you some sample opening lines. Once upon a time, long time ago, once there lived a king or a queen. It was a fine Monday morning when it had been long since we went out. So these could be the opening lines and many more. I'm sure you are better than me in, starting your story. I can feel that. Okay, now I'm going to give you some tips. So while writing a story, add vivid description to your story. That means you need to have a good command on your adjectives to describe your story. Now, if I say that the butterflies were fluttering around, the cool breeze was blowing, and I felt, so all these things, if I, describe in this poetic manner, I can actually feel, a cool breeze touching my cheeks, and I can see colorful butterflies. So make the reader live your story. Have that power in you, okay? Write in such a manner that it appeals to the five senses of the reader or the listener. Five senses, I hope you know, the touch, smell, feel, like that. So make the reader live your story, appeal to his five senses. Okay, now because you have characters, they need to talk. So frame meaningful dialogues in your story. Be careful. The vocabulary should be dignified. Do not use slang, abusive language, because you don't want to be looked down upon as a writer. So whoever is reading your story should say, wow, what a dignified way of writing dialogues. Good command on vocabulary. Okay, next, deploy extra characters. So along with your primary characters, have secondary characters. Could be a guard, could be a farmer somewhere. You see, but don't have too many extra characters. Evoke interest so that the reader lives your story while reading it. So your story should be captivating. When I read a story, after reading one paragraph, I should not start feeling bored, right? So keep a check. Read your own first paragraph and keep a check. Is it interesting? Will my reader keep sitting to read my story, or would he just leave the story and walk away? If you are not satisfied, reframe your paragraph. Okay? Right? Okay. A kind of a recap of whatever I said earlier. First, write an interesting first paragraph, because first impression is the last impression. After writing your first paragraph, develop your characters, introduce your characters. After that, write meaningful dialogues. Then use the setting, put some location there, atmosphere, describe, and then set up a plot. What is a plot? It's a series of events deliberately arranged so as to reveal their dramatic, thematic, and emotional significance. So here in the plot segment, a lot of drama is happening. So put in a lot of drama of emotion. Someone's crying, happy, elated, according to the theme of your story. Then create a conflict and tension. Tension is created by the opposition between character and internal or external forces or condition. This I said earlier. It could be the weather conditions also. It could be the characters' emotional or verbal or personality conflict as well. Last, find a resolution, the solution to the conflict, that it is resolved, happy ending, or sometimes it is tragic ending. So which genre are you picking up? A comedy, tragedy, a plain story? That depends totally on your command, your creativity. Now, we have reached the question segment of this video. I am going to take you through different kinds of questions that are asked. So the first one, your teacher might just give you an outline of the story and you have to develop into a detailed story. So for example, here, King hunting, lost jungle, lion brave, wounded, killed, tamed, palace safe. Now you need to put in your imaginative powers to develop the story. I'll just take you through this particular sample. Here, long time ago, there lived a king. He was now here you add a lot of description. His personality, tall, handsome, etc. He lived in a beautiful palace. Add a lot of descriptions again. For example, palace was surrounded by green pastures. There was a lotus pond, flowers, butterflies, whatever is your imagination. Okay? Then he used to meet his subjects every Monday. Everyone in his kingdom respected and loved him for his magnanimity. Now here I have just given an idea. You can write more. I'm just cutting short for you to know how to build a story on a given outline. Now I've left a line because I'm changing the scene. I'm taking my character to a different place. So my paragraph changes. One day he was strolling in his garden. He was in the midst of the salubrious environment. Still, some questions were raging war in his mind. He was not at peace. To get away from the turmoil, he decided to go for hunting. Right? After that, I changed my paragraph. Why? Because I want my character to kind of prepare for hunting, and then here I will show that hunting scene. So, describe the hunting preparations and the hunting scene. The tension, the conflict. Did the lion roar at him? Did he tremble with fear? Did the lion chase him? Did the king get wounded? Etc. etc. So in this particular is your plot area. Bring a lot of drama here. Then I leave a line and I go to almost my last paragraph where I describe the return of this king towards his palace, how he's coming. With or without the lion? Did he stop killing animals after this hunting experience? Was he cruel to the lion, or did he capture it and brought it to the palace? Now, after having written your story, then come to the title. Do not give title in an outline story like this initially, please, because sometimes your title does not match your story. So supposing you've given a title, A Coward King, but your story is all about his bravery. Now there'll be a clash. Your marks might just get cut. So first, write your story and then give an appropriate title. Okay? Next one. Next format of question is sometimes the title is given in the question paper, like so. The Mysterious Mountain. So the title is given. Do not change the title. You have to use this title and develop your story. Keep the word limit in mind. Next question. Sometimes opening lines are given. Over here I've given one. The site of the gushing river was. Now in such a format, do not start your story with your lines, please. You will have to use the same word to word given as the opening line. The site of the gushing river was. Till here you will copy in your answer sheet, and after was is your creativity. Right? Because it is expected of you to think with the opening lines and then take on. And of course you know how to change the paragraph, the word limit, etc. Marks. So what is a marks distribution? How the 10 marker story writing question is broken. What is a rubric? Okay, so probably first is title. Have you given a title? So your teacher might just give you 1 mark. Content, 4 marks. Content means what have you written? What's your story? Then expression, 5 marks here. Now 5 marks is broken into coherence, whether you are fluent or are you jumping from one thought to another and there's no connection between those. There's no proper sequencing. So keep that in mind. The ideas are relevant and things like that. Then 2.5 marks for accuracy, appropriate words, spellings. So like that, the marks are distributed. Sometimes we might give a half mark for the title and 6 marks for the content and expression, some other, so we might follow a different pattern, but yes, we do have marks distribution. Teachers just don't read your story and give marks randomly. They do have a pattern that this child in the content should get these many marks. Right, and do not lose marks on not writing a title, etc. Okay, next one. Now, I would say that own a small library of your own, meaning have 5-6 books in your room, in your house, call it your library. Oh, and why do I want you to do that? Because no matter how much I teach you in my video that these are the tips, this is the suggestion, this is the way you should start, and you would not score well if you are not a voracious reader, right? So if I don't read books, I'll not be able to write stories. Simple as that. Okay, so please start reading storybooks from today. You please promise me that. And I always say English is interesting. Keep learning with me. I am Vinita. Thanks for watching.